but the base, or what you can say, the starting of origin point of any department is this 5 department. So enterprise resource planning is nothing but a concept where how we can utilize the resources in our company in best way to get the product or get best of profit. So ERP is a concept. The basis of the ERP concept SAP is developed. So this is about your ERP. Then if you see coming into the history of the ERP, so it initially in 1960 it started a package called inventory control package. Then they made some development, then they call it as a material requirement planning, then manufacturer resource planning, then in 90s it is called as the ERP or enterprise resource planning, and now we call it is a extended ERP, where it is not limited to a specific industry or a specific product. It has been extended to many more products and many more industry in the market. So apart from SAP, we have other ERP vendors like Oracle, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards. So everyone terminology using the different department is different. In Oracle, in SAP sales and distribution, we call it in Oracle marketing and sales. PeopleSoft called supply chain management. JD Edwards, they call order management. Similarly, when I come to the finance, we call it financial accounting. Oracle we call financials, financial management solutions, and financial management with respect of JD Edwards. So what are the major benefits of ERP? It is a more of reliable information. So it shares a common DBM system which helps us to retrieve the data from various departments. When I say common DBM system, earlier before your ERP concept, for example, a company wants to implement system, not SAP or ERP. They just want to implement system. So they have to buy 5 different software or different application for that each department. So it is not a common DBM system, or it is not a real-time integration of the system. So later point of time when ERP concept comes, so all these departments share a common DBM system and real-time integration. When I say real-time integration, it means if I post an entry, if I make a post an entry, and immediately it will reflect in our, for example, I'm creating a sales invoice. So immediately it will reflect in my accounts. If I'm creating a purchase invoice, or if I'm making a payment to vendor, if I'm receiving payment from customer, it will integrate on real time and it will show into the system immediately. So there are many advantages. So like avoiding data operation differently, then delivery and cycle reduction, cost reduction, easy adaptability. It is very user friendly when it comes to the business users who uses the actual ERP system. There are many advantages. Now current advantage, I can say that internet commerce and collaborative culture. It is not limited to only one application. We can integrate our SAP system to any other application. A simple example be, for example, a company creates a sales invoices or your purchase PO or purchase orders in other system, and we can link it to our SAP. They need not to, it is not mandatory that they have to create the sales invoice or purchase invoice in SAP. They can create in any other system. So we can link it to our SAP system and it will be updated the details in SAP system. So what are the disadvantages? Majorly, it is time consuming, it's very expensive. This depends upon how vendor using the functionality. It is not suggestible that SAP has given lots of functionality, let's start using all the functionality. The vendor or the user should understand what exactly their requirement, and they should use SAP up to that extent. So there are still, SAP is a developing product. It is not a developed product. It is still, SAP people are coming with more and more ideas and adding up more module and functionality to our SAP system. Any question anyone have till now? Hello? Hello? Okay, good. So let's coming into SAP integration. This is a small picture I have under to make you understand how exactly it integrates. SAP is totally now it is based on three-tier application. So what is your three-tier application? I will give you an example in the later presentations. Coming into the different methods, ERP implementation methods, we have the Big Bang. Big Bang method is nothing but where in the current system, or which we call legacy system, we take out all the process and put the ERP concept. So here what happens, for example, in a company we have 6 process. We remove all the process and we implement SAP system or ERP system immediately. So the Big Bang approach promised to reduce the integration cost because here we are integrating the system at the initial stage. Then we have our model implementation. In the model implementation where we go implementing ERP system model wise. So this is also one of the things system which we use very frequently in different projects. Then process oriented implementation. Process oriented implementation is focused more on the support of one or a few critical business processes which involves a few business units. What are the factors we normally consider for ERP implementation successfully? That's your project planning, actual design, data requirement, phase approach, data conversion, and organization commitments. These are the things which we consider at very high level because these are the very important things which will help us to implement an ERP system successfully. Normally, what are the causes the ERP failure? ERP software. What kind of software they are using? As ERP is a concept, on ERP concept, we have lot many products. So they need to select the best suited product for their business process. So that is very important that you must select ERP software. Most commonly, another reason for ERP failure is users. Users are not comfortable with the system. So it is very important that whenever you implement an ERP system, the business users who actually record your business transaction must be given a proper training and proper documents so that they make themselves very comfortable with ERP system and while doing all these business transactions. So this is something about the introduction of what exactly ERP. Now let's come down to introduction to our system SAP. So SAP is nothing but stands for Systems Application Products in Data Processing System. SAP is a very recent product. It's not a very old product. It's developed in 1972 by 5 IBM employees who used to work for IBM, and they come up with the thought of this SAP system where they kept ERP concept intact in SAP system. So it is a very recently product, but it has gained a huge market and it has become one of the second leading product in the market. So first vision was a real-time vision. Real-time vision in the sense where they thought of the real-time integration. For example, a sales invoice is created, it should update our not only the sales department, it should update our commitment department, it should update our FI department, it should update our controlling department. So real-time integration. So in the second level, they started up working more into R/2 system. Then in 90s, they started a approach to a software solutions, and now it is purely software application system where now we have almost 12 million users and there are nearly 1,21,000 installations worldwide, more than 15 SAP partners and 25 industry business solutions, more than 41,200 customers in 120 countries. Now it is the third largest integrated software vendor in the industry. What are the other leading SAP like SAP software apart from the ERP concept? These are the leading software in the next few years. So coming to the SAP, in SAP we have different kind of modules, functional, technical, and one more model is there which is your third-party tool, which I'll give you a presentation in later slides. Functional modules and technical module. Let's further discuss about what is a technical module. In the technical module, first things comes to your basis, then ABAP, then rest of the thing. Basis people are the people who help us to install the SAP. ABAP people help us to prepare a structured platform where functional consultant can work. A functional consultant responsibility is to understand the business process of the customer and configure the system or enhance the system basing upon the customer requirement. So that is the main and major responsibility of each functional consultant, is that whenever they go for an implementation, they must understand the client business process, how they are operating. When I say client business process, each industry, each company, individual department will have a separate or their unique way of approaching our business process. That goal may be common, but the approach will be different. So as a consultant, we must understand what exactly they follow, what exactly their requirement, and where they are falling behind, and how to develop that. Okay. So similarly, as a FI consultant, we must understand the financial and controlling, production planning people, material management people, sales and distribution, HR. As I said, these are the core module of SAP. Apart from this, we have lot many more functional modules in SAP. So when we go for the implementation, SAP tells us to follow a method which is called your ASAP methodology. In the ASAP methodology, first we come with the project preparation, in which we identify the project team, we identify the project start dates and project work and environment setup. Next level comes to your business blueprint. Business blueprint is nothing but as is to be. As is means where are we, where we want to go. So in the business blueprint level, we decide what exactly the process we are following to meet the customer requirement. Realization phase, where we actually start working on the SAP system, and we do all the configuration, primary level of configuration, secondary level of configuration, then knowledge transfer, then unit testing, data mapping, requirements, migration of data, uploadation of data. Then it comes to your final preparation, where we do final integration of the system. Your stress testing is nothing but your performance testing. Okay. When I say integration in testing system, as I said, SAP has different modules. After doing the individual testing, we try to integrate each system, not only within the SAP, it may be outside the SAP also. To SAP 2 or non-SAP system, or SAP 2, sometimes it may be SAP system also. So then it comes to your go live and support, where with specific day we follow one of the SAP methodology which I have already explained you. It may be a Big Bang methodology, it may be a model-wise methodology, so which we will process and we will go for the implementation. System landscape. This is a very important thing when as a consultant we need to, as we are learning in the SAP, we need to understand. In SAP, when we say client, it is not customer. When we say client, it represents to the SAP system. Client is the highest hierarchy in our SAP system. Under client, all your configuration, everything comes. Normally, whole SAP system is divided into probably 3 servers or 3 different kinds of servers. One we call it development, quality control, and production. In the development server, we will be having different clients. One is your 110 configuration, 120 for sandbox, and 130 for development test. These numbers are not unique. It may vary. So just for example, I have given some numbers, but it will be always 3 digits. When I say configuration, okay, let me take you through the process. First, when I get a requirement, first I will try in the sandbox. In the sandbox, I will try to do the configurations, and we will see that the output meets the client requirement. If the configuration is successful in my sandbox, then I will do my final configuration in 110. In the 110, when I do the configuration, the configuration or settings, I save it in a transport request. I cannot save the configuration settings in transport request in sandbox. It is just for our testing purpose, which will not go to further to our quality or production client. But the configuration which I make it in our 110 config client, or we call it as also as a golden client, that particular transport request moves to our quality control, and if in the quality control the test is successful, then into the production. We never do any configuration in the production server, but still there are some configuration which we call it client dependent, where we need to do the configuration in production directly. So in that scenario, we will be doing the configuration in development, then the quality control and production in 3 places. Some example I can give you: the number ranges for our documents, our tax, FTXP, our tax codes. These are the few things which we do directly in the individual clients. So this is our 3-tier architecture. When I say 3-tier architecture, we have 3 layers: presentation, application, and database. Database is the layer where our actual data stores, application where data gets processed, presentation is nothing but where we can see our specific data. Coming to the business process and the SAP RP functionality, these are 2 business processes which is very tightly integrated to FI. One is sales cycle, we call it. Another is your purchase cycle. When I come to the sales cycle, first is your customer purchase order, sales order, then inventory sourcing, delivery billing, customer, and payment. Similarly, when we come to purchase cycle, we have PR, then vendor purchase selection order, goods received, invoice verification, vendor payment. This sales is nothing but your SD department purchase, your material management, or P2P. You call it procure to pay. Then sales is called your order to cash. These 2 departments is very tightly integrated with our FI, especially your MM. MM is very tightly integrated with the FI, because when it comes to the configuration, we need to understand how exactly our configuration links with our purchase department in various stages of your purchase cycle. This is something about the SAP, how functionality works and how processes. Anyone have any questions? Shweta, Harish, Harshis, anyone have any questions? Okay, so let's go to next level of thing. As I was saying, whole SAP is defined into different modules: technical module, functional module. One more module is there, that is your cross application module. Cross application module helps us to integrate company system to outside system. For example, let's give you one example. Let's say I'm making a payment. I run a payment run in SAP. Now I want this payment information or instruction go to the bank, and bank should make the payment. So at that time I will use cross application. Similarly, a sales invoice. I cannot give access to all the a customer who wants to create a sales invoice. What I will do, I'll create a common website which will be very user friendly, where customer will go and update the sales invoice, and the sales invoice will automatically get updated in our SAP system. Similar way, our purchase invoice. So for this cross application, we use the functionality called cross application, where a third-party tool will be used in between of SAP to your other tool, which may be a SAP or which may not be a SAP, to integrate between them. So this is very, very important as of now, and it's a very important functionality in SAP which helps customer to meet their day-to-day activities very easily. So we have different banks in our company. In a big company, I have thousand lakhs of vendors. So it is not necessary every time for me to write a check for them. I'll just can do the electronic fund transfer from SAP itself by giving an instruction to the bank. Just saying that, okay, these are my vendors, this is their account number, this is the amount, this is the invoice. You run SAP payment run, then SAP will generate an IDOC. From the IDOC, PI will be linked and PI will send a flat file or payment file to the bank and bank will make the payment. This is called your outbound, where we are sending SAP information to the outsider or third-party tool or another SAP system or legacy system. Similarly, when bank makes the payment, bank will send a positive pay file saying these vendors are paid, these invoices are clear. Then bank will send a file to the PI. Then from the PI, the information will flow to our SAP. This is called your inbound file. So these two functionality we have where it is not necessarily that from the SAP system only we send the information. We can receive it from the third party or some other application from SAP to SAP system. So this is totally based upon their functionality. So very commonly the technical system we have ABAP, Basis, NetWeaver, Exchange Infrastructure, and functional modules.
Kasi, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you mentioned that the inbound messages from bank and all will go to PI and then get into FICO. What exactly is PI?
So PI is a process integration, or this is our exchange instruction. This is a tool where it links SAP system to your another system. So SAP is our system. Bank may use a legacy system, or bank also may be a SAP system, but they are using Oracle. So it helps us to link between these two. This is called process integration or exchange infrastructure. Where because when we run the SAP through SAP, I want to send a flat file. I cannot generate the flat file. We have different processes where we can generate SAP flat files, but PI is considered as a more trustworthy tool where we can process that flat file to the bank. Okay. So this PI, it will be a separate, we will be having a separate consultant for that. We call it PI consultants.
Okay.
So they will, what happens exactly when I generate an IDOC, from the IDOC, when we run a payment run, the SAP system generates the IDOC. In the IDOC, all the information will be there. So which vendor, for which invoice, which payment date, when is, all the information will be there. Those information will be retrieved by the PI system and it will generate a flat file. This flat file will be basing upon the formatting, basing upon the bank format, where bank demands a format. Because each individual bank have different format, and that will go to the bank system.
So irrespective of who generates the IDOC, whether it is the FICO consultant or SD consultant or MM consultant, eventually it goes
to business users. Business users, not consultant. Any of the transactional thing, any of the postings are not done by any consultant. Our responsibility is to configure the system, give it to the business. Business will run the invoice. Business will create a sales invoice. Business will make the purchase invoice. As a consultant, even though we will not have the access, we may have the access to display, but we will not have the authorization to do any kind of business transaction or setups in our production system. Okay. So consultant job is not to do any kind of business transaction. It is the business who will do. For example, I'm doing a configuration for, let's say, McDonald's. So McDonald's responsibility is to run the business transaction, not as a consultant. My responsibility is to set up the SAP system, give it to them, give them a training program, how exactly they need to process, and they will be doing it. Okay. So as a consultant, we never, yes, we do some kind of testing in the development of quality, but production absolutely will never have any access for any of the transactions.
Sure, thanks.
application. So in cross application, we have different modules: APO, supply chain management, CRM. These are the cross application which has been very important, and most of the company now basing upon their requirement they're coming up. Business warehousing BW is one of the very useful tool where we can generate customized reports. It is very user friendly, just drag and drop. Just you need to drag and drop and you can customize your own report. For example, you have 20 fields, I want only 5 fields. Just drag and drop. So BW is one of the very useful tool in current scenario. So this is an RY3 module, how exactly works. This is our standard SAP presentation, which always in every presentation we might have seen. So this is by RY3, this client server, this is the architecture, and we have each department: FI, CO, AM is your asset management, PS is your project system, which comes under an financial, and it's a different module where we manage a project. Especially we do it more for asset accounting, but that is a totally different module which is integrated to our asset management. So functionality wise, each module, these are our core modules in our SAP system. Anyone have any questions? So I will go more into now FICO. Okay, so stop me if you have any questions. So when it comes to each module, especially in the finance and controlling, in the finance we have general ledger, account receivable, accounts payable, asset accounting, withholding taxing. These are like sub modules in our finance. These are the sub major modules. Under each module we have different topics, which I'll come to the next slides. Then in the controlling, see, okay, let me give you an example. What is finance? What is controlling? Most of the people think that FICO is a one module. FICO is a two different module: finance and controlling. Finance is purely for external reporting purpose. It is for purely preparation of your profit and loss account and balance sheet. It is for the people who are outsiders, shareholders, stakeholders, government, your income tax department. So for them, this module is very much useful because we record all the business transactions, and all these business transactions are recorded purely for your trial balance, profit and loss account, and your balance sheet. Now, when it comes to controlling is for internal reporting purpose. It is not controlling, it is purely for internal reporting and controlling purpose. For example, I'll give you a small example. It may help you to understand. Let's say I have company called ABC Limited. In ABC Limited, I have P1, P2, P3, 3 departments. In P1 department, let's say I have 10 employees. P2 department, I have 20 employees. And P3, I have, let's say, 30 employees. Let's say I provide them transport service at free of cost, and I spend yearly, let's say, $36,000 on the transport. Now, when I record in the P&L, I'll just record to transport 36,000. So now I want to know how much I spend on each department. So what I will do for the P1 department, I'll do 10 divided by 60. Basing upon the number of employees, I will calculate. So this helps me to find out exactly how much I spend on each department. In the profit and loss account, I'll just mention to transport, debit $36,000. But now business, our management wants to know how much I exactly spend on each department. Then this controlling tool will be helpful. This is a small example. Similarly, not only my expenses, I can segregate my revenues also, and I can do a variance analysis between our expenses and revenue, and I can find out that which department needs more importance, or which department is spending more money, or which department is spending less money but generating more revenues. So controlling functionality helps business to control and find out the reports at very low level. Not only very high level, we can find out in a very low level through a different functionality called cost center, internal orders, where we can manage the finance or manage the incoming or outgoing of functionality of money very clearly. So controlling tool is one of the very important tool, and FI consultant in real time, in FI consultant and CO consultant most of the time will be different. Person who will be doing FI jobs most of the time they do not do controlling jobs. Person who are doing controlling jobs, they never like to do the FI jobs because controlling is a very higher tool. So it is very important that you must understand the differentiation between FI and CO. FICO is not a one module, it's a two different module. Financial accounting, which is purely for your external reporting purpose. Controlling, which is purely for your internal controlling and reporting purpose. In general language, when I say FI, it is financial accounting or accounting, where we follow rule of thumb. Debit means debit, credit means credit, expenses means expenses. But when it comes to controlling, it differs. It is purely for management accounting. It's a tool in the hands of the higher division of management to take a better decision. It varies, or it process get differ basing upon your industry, basing upon your individual department. So basing upon each industry, controlling setup may differ. Your business blueprint for controlling may differ. When it comes to FI, it will be common. Most of the time, for example, one transaction is there, it is expenses in India, it is expenses in everywhere. Let's say one transaction is there, it's an income in India, it will be income. There will be some variation in finance also, like tax. Procedure may be different, but approach will be always one. But in controlling, the approach may also be different, your procedure may also be different. It's purely based upon your company, based upon your industry, your company, and your business process. Okay, anyone have any question between difference between FI and CO? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay, fine. So controlling, we will be, after finance and taking care of this topic, that we will be going to controlling cost element, cost center, profit center, internal orders. Apart from this topic, there are many more topics in controlling. Product costing, COPA, material ledger, ABC analysis. But at this point of time, I will not suggest you give much importance to that, because without having a very much real-time exposure in FI, you may not much helpful to understand, especially product costing and COPA. But I'll take few sessions and I'll try to at least give you an overview of product costing and COPA, so that at least you will have some idea in the product costing and COPA. But we will be go in detail cost element, cost center, profit center, internal orders, because these are very important tool and very useful even for your financial purpose. Also, it will be very useful. Similarly, when it comes to sales and distribution, we have sales order, pricing, picking, some packing, invoice, shipping, collection, different more topics, material management, which just I'm kept all the top information for you. So production planning, quality management, human resource, which are important tool in our SAP system. Now let's come to more into FICO. What exactly FI? What are the topics we are going to cover in FI? I will get to another document which I have prepared, which will give you a more detailed information. Okay. For the FI, first we will start with our enterprise structure, financial accounting, global setting, and general ledger accounting. These three topics help us to do the basic configuration, and these three topics are very important. If you understand these three topics very well, then further topics will be very, very easier. So we will be spending more time on these topics, and these topics helps the final output or result of these topics is where we can create the GL account and host the GL account. I'm not saying customer vendor, I'm saying in general ledger for expenses, income related to your general, not in respect to your customer or vendor. After learning these three topics, then we will be going to another topic, that's a whole document, parking document, recurring, reversal, GL, outgoing, incoming. These are the topics where we do not have much configuration, but these topics comes under your FICO. Okay, especially in general ledger accounting. These are more useful to your end user. But if an end user is using regularly, chances are that you may get lot many errors. So when you, as a consultant, when you are in the support process, it will be very helpful to your understanding. And there are very few level of configuration at the time of implementation, which will maybe one step or two steps, very simple process, but we must understand what exactly it happens in every level. After taking through those these general ledger, then we will be concentrating on interest calculation. In the interest calculation, I have two kinds of interest calculation. One is balance. Balance is for your bank deposits and bank loans. So it will be calculated automatically, system will calculate automatic calculations for your interest paid, interest received. Then we have item interest calculation, where it is for customer late payment. Most of the time it happens that customer makes a late payment, then we charge some interest. It's not penalty, it's interest. So how to do the configuration on the customer setups. Then we will take you through the foreign currency exchange. Foreign currency exchange or foreign currency transaction. In this scenario, we will learn, for example, your company code or your company is in India, but you want to make a payment in US dollars. But our GL account must convert from US dollar to our local currency, Indian rupees. So this configuration helps you to post a transaction in US dollar, but your general ledger account will be converted and updated in your local currency, which is your company code currency. After this, we will go through the account receivable, that is your customer master data. Here we will learn how to create a customer, how to create a customer invoice, and how to make a incoming payment. Then terms of discount. Terms of discount is nothing but how to work with your discount. If a customer says me that I'll make a payment immediately, give me some discount. So how to do the configuration of the terms of payment. Then your dunning, which is one of the very important topic in your FI. Dunning is nothing but you are sending reminder notices to those customer where customer makes a late payment. If customer is not making a payment, I can send reminder notices through SAP. It may happen that not only in the late payment, before the payment only. For example, this is 10th is a due date. I want to send a reminder notice on 5th. I can use dunning process and send them a reminder notices. Then your customer credit memo, where we receive goods from the customer. Then we'll start working on your accounts payable. In the accounts payable, similarly, we will learn how to create a vendor, different functionality of vendor, how to create a purchase invoice, then how to make an outgoing payment. Then similarly, we have topics, discount, how to work on the discount. Then our bank charges. Then we'll come back to our house bank. House bank is nothing but the intermediary bank through which our company is making the payment. So that house bank also has to be set up in SAP system. Then how to process manual check payment, then the discount, and very, very important topic, that is automatic payment program. In the automatic payment program, we will have different functionality or different process. One, we will be learning how to make the payment through iDocs, where I send the information to the bank, bank makes the payment. Banks generate the checks in their end. And the second process where we, in the SAP system in our company, we will be generating the checks and we will be sending to the vendors directly. So APP is one of the very, very important functionality, and we will be spending more time on APP configurations. So where, as I said, there will be two different processes and different kinds of payment methods, so we will be learning. Then vendor credit memo, then party statement. Party statement is nothing but sending your customer vendor statement for specific dates. A customer told me, I want my statement for 10 days. Let's say 1st Jan to 10th Jan. So party statement helps us for that. Then sales tax and purchase tax. How to configure the sales and tax. And before sales tax and purchase tax, we will be learning how to create a tax procedure. So basing on the tax procedure, we will be learning the how to create a sales and tax and purchase tax. Then we will come to the special GL accounts, where we will be learning down payment from customer, down payment from vendor, and bills of exchange. These are special GL indicators where two recon accounts will be involved. So special GL indicator is now very, very useful functionality because these are very common transactions in our business. So after this, I missed one topic, that is your petty cash book. That is your cash journal. Most of the business transaction happens in bank, but still there are some business transactions which happens in hardcore cash. So how to do the configuration for petty cash book, that will also be included. Then we will be learning the asset accounting, how to create an asset, how to create a sub-asset, how to run depreciation, how to transfer an asset, how to sell an asset, how to scrap an asset. Then AUC, asset under construction. Asset under construction is one of the functionality which is very important. For example, you are building a machinery and you require different parts from different departments or different countries. So you are buying each asset. So this is called asset under construction. So how we will purchase each asset and club all these different parts of the asset and create a one final asset. This is called your asset under construction. So these are the major topics which we will be covering in the control or FI. Then in controlling, we will learn cost center. First topic is a cost center. Then your internal orders and profit center. As I said, product cost in COPA, I'll give you an overview of product cost in COPA and other few topics of controlling, but we will not go in depth. That will be only for your theoretical for how exactly this works. Then I will be going through the closing. There are some activities there at every month end and year end. So what are these activities and how we proceed? Then different standard reports. Before the reports, I kept how to prepare our financial statement, profit and loss, trial balance, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Then credit management functionality. This is more into more functionality of our SD people, but I want to just give you an overview because it's a good thing to learn being a FI consultant, how dynamic statistics. Maybe Haris will help us more to understand the credit management as Haris is a SD consultant. So these are the, it will be doing that. Then very important topic, integration with MM. We'll be learning incomplete purchase cycle. So it's not only we'll be doing our FI configuration. After the FI configuration, we will be doing posting from PO level, and we will be trying to understand how the GL accounts, at what level the GL accounts are affected, and how exactly it gets processed, how GL accounts are picked up, how it is configured, on what basis, because this is very important topic. Most of the companies, they look people who have very strong knowledge on FI and MM integration. Then a little bit of tax procedure and posting. These are like really topics which we require in regular life. So these are topics. Apart from this, at last, after initially we will learn in the classic GL. We will do all this configuration in the classic GL. When you guys are very comfortable, then I will teach you one more functionality, that is your new general ledger, which is the new functionality and very, very important. The new general ledger we will be learning leading and non-leading ledger, document splitting, segment reporting, parallel accounting concept, how CO to FI integration. So these are the topics which we will be learning in the new general ledger concepts. So this is the overview, course overview. These are the topics we are going to cover. So materials, interview questions, your few business blueprint from my previous project. I will be sharing you step-by-step notes. This is like a couple of step-by-step notes where like you need not to write down the every class session what exactly you are doing. I'll provide you this material where you can do without configuration later after the sessions. Okay, anyone have any questions, anything to ask me, please feel free. Shweta, Harish, Ashish. Hello.
Yeah, Kasi, give me some idea. How long does it take typically to complete this FICO training?
It will take nearly 40-45 hours.
Of instruction-led training, and what is the effort you expect for practice and other things from the people?
Every day minimum we require to practice 1 or 2 hours. 1 hour is minimum. At least once you do and what I teach, and maybe that will help you a lot, because when you go through SAP is something is totally including. For example, if you doing the first three topics is very important where you need to spend more time. So later, each topic if you do once in a practice and weekly, maybe 2-3 times, that will be more than enough to understand.
And will you be providing any kind of assignments which you will eventually check and see whether
yes. Every, like for example, in every classes, first I will ask you questions based upon our previous topics, basically the theoretical, what exactly you understand. Then when I feel that you guys are very comfortable with the previous topic, then I'll take a new topic. Otherwise, I will keep repeating the same old topic. That's how I proceed. Because it is very important. SAP, most of the topics are linked. So if you do not understand first topic, it may happen that later point of time you may not understand the later topic for the topic. So it is very important that we keep on a track, we keep on asking questions, keep discussion, so that it will help us to understand that.
Okay.
I think someone has joined. Bala, Bala, can you hear me? Let's see what I can do. Okay, Harish, Shweta, you can feel free to ask questions. I can see your chat, but if you have any questions, please feel free. Okay, then I think no one has a question. I will. Murli, are you on the call?
Yes, Karthi.
Yes.
Harish, Harshesh, Sweta, and Bala. So I would like to update you that we would be starting this batch from 2nd of July, and it will be first evening for the guys who are based out of US, and second morning for us. It will be Monday morning for us, and I think all of you has our email address, so please drop us an email. So if you're interested to continue from 2nd. So Sweta, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's really good. So how did you feel about the demo?
It was good, but I still have to just think over, and I'll definitely email you.
Yeah.
By tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Anyway, we would be starting the training from Monday only, so that is 2nd of July, and that will be first evening for you. And
okay.
Yeah, so you can anytime come back to us on this.
How long will the classes be?
Every day it will be 90 minutes, and 90 minutes per day and 5 days a week, and the total duration it comes to 40-45 days.
Okay.
And so Harshesh,
Yeah, like I'm still debating between SD and FICO. Let me talk to a few more friends of mine who are in this industry and then come back to you on which one I want to move forward
no,
with.
not a problem, not a problem. So, but you can, so update me by tomorrow or day after tomorrow as we are starting the batch from second.
Sure, I'll come back to you.
Okay, not a problem. So, Harish, you have any questions? Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Harish. I think Bala, can you hear us? Hello, Bala. Hello. Okay, that's fine. So, guys, thank you very much for attending the demo session. So, I'll be in, keep in touch with you guys through emails. So, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.